Um, because if for some reason there is a glitch with my inability to get us live correctly, we'll still go ahead here, record it, and then I'll post it there. But I've been practicing, so I think we should be good to go.
Awesome. Yay.
All right. Of course, you do this all the time.
I know.
You're
Just
a
last
pro
night
at
doing
this.
it too. So
What's that?
just last night it was our team meeting. So I was on Zoom for hours doing breakout rooms and live streaming, and fun.
I love that.
Fun.
I've got a couple of screens here because I want to be able to see comments.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
This is almost too easy.
It is, right?
I may have spoken too soon. You make sure it pops up here, and I'm like, gotta get the sound down on here.
Oh, well,
All
it says
right.
Penny White Cells live, so we're good.
I think we're here. Yay. Oh my gosh. All right. Let me just fix this over here. All right. So as people are jumping on, say hi in the comments. We'd love to know who's here. Hopefully, I'll actually be able to access the comments. Oh, hey, Rick, I see you here. Are you able to see us okay? As long as you can see us and hear us, you're good to go. Um, so we'll give us just a couple minutes for people to come on and jump on and say hi and let us know they're here. But I'm just so happy to be doing this with you. I think there's such people have really struggled. A lot of business owners have really struggled with current times, and it makes perfect sense for a lot of the businesses that are out there. And so I'm hoping by doing these interviews to present people who have some positivity to share here and have been able to be nimble and shift things like you have and share their experiences and maybe prompt some ideas in other people about what can really work in your business and what's worked for you and I just see all the, oh my goodness, all the success that you've had, and not just in your business. You have a mission to empower women, it seems like to me, and I just love watching that, and your goodness just shines through. So I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And it looks like we've got Mike Anderson, Amy, Rick. All right, the live is working.
Yay, we did it.
Mike knows what a struggle that could be for me. Good morning, Linda. Good morning. So, as I mentioned, wanted to share some of the experiences that Sabrina has had in her work. It's just you're, as I mentioned earlier, you just amaze me all the time, and I wanted to share your help, be here to share your story with other business owners. So why don't we just jump on in? And Sabrina, if you could tell us, for people who may be watching the replay or people who don't know you, would you share a bit about yourself and your business?
Absolutely. So my name is Sabrina Rodriguez. I live in Kenmore, New York. I was born and raised in Western New York, and I'm a lifer here. But I love to travel the world and still experience different cultures and things. And so my job kind of gives me the best of both worlds, that I can work on the go, but also not be able to miss a doctor's appointment with my parents, or not miss, with my bonus kids, like those fun, important birthday parties and things like that too. So when I started my business, I'm a pure romance consultant. I'm in direct sales. Actually, in 2 months, I'll be celebrating my 10-year anniversary. And when I first started my business, I was in college and I was going to go to law school. So I started on this path of adulthood thinking you have to go to school, you have to get your degree, you have to get a 9 to 5 job. And that's actually what I did. So after I graduated pre-law, I decided to get a job in a law firm as a paralegal and use my degree for $10 an hour. And I didn't even make enough money to make ends meet if I didn't have a side hustle. So having this business in my back pocket not only helped me work through 2 years of undergrad at Damon College, which is not cheap, but also allowed me the opportunity to take my business to the next level and to work a 9 to 5, but work my business around that. And I think those 4 years working in the law firm really solidified that I made the right decision to not further my education in that traditional sense, but to move forward as an entrepreneur. And I listened to, oh my gosh, I think it was Gary Vee who said, if you have another job, if you have a 9 to 5, you're not an entrepreneur with your side hustle. And I got so offended by that. And I said, how dare he? He doesn't know. And then I quit my 9 to 5 almost 4 years ago now. And he's right. It's the next level when you have no source of security and finances and you solely rely on your efforts and your time to pay your bills and to save for your future. It's another world and I love it. And so when I came into the direct sales industry, I had no idea that this lifestyle even existed. However, it's really opened my eyes to knowing my worth and to knowing what I'm capable of and to being really self-sufficient and having the awesome support system behind me, like my parents, my family, who've supported me every single step of the way, has really made a big impact too, to have those positive, reinforcements behind me.
Absolutely. Do you realize how unusual it is, though, for someone to come to that kind of realization so young? Uh,
I know.
that is something that has really stood out for me because I think for so many people, it's not until we've done so much of the traditional path, the college, the job, and then, years, maybe even decades down the road, we come to that realization that you can start your own side gig and create your own business and be in charge, and that there are such opportunities out there. Kudos to you to finding this out early in life.
I just went to a party. Like that
Well,
was
and that
it.
was my next question. How did you, I mean, there are so many different direct sales opportunities out there. What was it about pure romance, or how did you find pure romance in the first place to begin?
It's so crazy. And to be honest, I mean, my sponsor will tell you, and just everyone who's known me since before I started, I went to a party and my friends from college were throwing a party. I had no idea what the party was about. I learned a couple things. I had a lot of fun and a little bit of wine. And so I booked my own party. And the consultant had come to my house and my friends were booking parties from that party, just and so I kept getting invited to all these things. And I was a server when I was in college. I was a waitress, and so instead of working Friday and Saturday nights, I would take off to go to these parties. So the consultant was like, how about you just like sell to your friends and your family, get an awesome discount because you're already spending money on the products, you like them so much, like just get paid to do that. You can extend the discount to your friends, which and then you can also get a discount for yourself, make a little bit of cash, and that way when you take a Friday night off, you're not spending, full amount, you're actually making some money. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do this while I'm in college. It'll get me through, the rest of my schooling. It'll help pay for books, it'll whatever. And then uh not even 2 months after I started and clicked that sign up button, I quit my waitressing job. And that was my sole source of income for my junior and senior year at college because I was doing so many parties. People just wanted to party. And I was having so much fun with it. I was making more in one night than I was in one week waitressing. And so I was able to focus on my schoolwork because instead of working 40 plus hours a week and doing school full time, I was able to have a lot more flexibility to take spring break, and we would have conventions conveniently the same week as spring break. And so I would go to work for Pure Romance, to go to conventions and go to trainings during that time instead of going to the beaches and going to Mexico and all of that. But I found value and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And so to me, it didn't even feel like work. It was just something I didn't realize that I was taking those stepping stones to build a strong business. And that's one of the things in direct sales is a lot of people think that it's just sales, but I'm my own inventory manager. I'm my own marketer. I'm my own everything, bookkeeper, everything. And I have fabulous people around me who help keep me structured. But at the same time, it all comes down to me. It all comes down to my efforts in keeping organized. And you can't be in business for 10 years if you don't have that structure behind it. So I'm my own business owner, not just a consultant in direct sales. So it makes a really big difference when you look at it that way as well. And that excites me. That to me is, you know, I've looked at other compensation plans, but also at the same time, to me, my style is my company. It's young, fresh, vibrant, different. When I first started, it was, you know, these products weren't talked about publicly. They weren't raved about. They were hush hush. They were online only. They were in a corner store that you were embarrassed to walk into. And so bringing that to women's homes and having open, honest, fun communication was something that was really lacking 10 years ago. This is pre 50 Shades of Grey, pre Magic Mike, pre all of these things that really opened up those doors. And so being one of those first people to have the opportunity to build on that and learn it and grow it has really been an awesome experience. From central New York up, I was only the second consultant, so I got in really really early. I was only the second consultant in New York, from I think like Ithaca over to Buffalo. And so there were a ton of people who'd never even heard of the company, and still to this day I find people who've never heard of the company. And it's something that, to me, I want to grow and make sure that everyone knows what Pure Romance is, and it's a household name, that you have the lotions, you have the perfumes, and it's not anything to be ashamed of. It's something that empowers you and makes you feel good, whether it's the inside or out.
Well, and you've just alluded to it somewhat, but for anyone who's watching here live or on the replay, tell us more about Pure Romance. What is the company? What are the products and
Yeah, so
services
we're
you're providing?
we're a direct sales company. I do in-home parties and virtual right now Zoom parties for women. We specialize in bath and beauty products, massage products, lingerie, bedroom accessories, all the lotions and potions. And so it's not just intimacy with a partner, but it's really building up your self-confidence, and building a relationship with yourself is really important. And a lot of women lose themselves throughout their course of their lifetime because they become a mom, they become a wife, they become a chauffeur, they become a chef. Especially nowadays, they are staying home, homeschooling now, they are teachers.
Oh,
And so really having an opportunity to give them that safe space and quiet time to actually be who they are as a person, and not someone's wife, not someone's mom, not someone's sister or daughter, but having them own their identity is really important. And then also on the other side of it, we have amazing women's sexual health products. So we do have, and I work with a couple pelvic floor therapists, medical professionals who work with women before, during, and after they have babies. And that's something that's really lacking in this community as well, is the not only just the women's mental health and how they feel after having a baby, but also taking care of their body, because their body is changing throughout this cycle. And when it's their first baby, they don't know how their body changes and how things are moving around. And so just being that extra resource and being able to provide not just the products, but the education behind it is really important to me. And that is something that I never thought I would be able to do in this line of work, is to not just sell things, but to educate behind it and empower women to empower themselves.
and I see you doing that every day in your groups online, but also I had hosted one of your parties, and yeah, I mean it's a great time. It's so much fun. We had lots of laughs, especially around certain devices that you sell. Uh, but you also had, someone on there who had really benefited from one of your products, who had had cancer. And the products were very helpful for her, some of the lotions and things like that. So when you talk about in the pelvic floor support and the other things, it really is all about supporting women, and empowering them in so many ways in their lives.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't think of it that way. They just think that it's, one of those companies or, those parties. And I've spent the last 10 years trying to make people rethink that, it's not just one of those parties. It's actually something that's much, much more than that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just looking at some of the comments here, Dale had mentioned kudos to you and believing in yourself. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And to anyone else who's here, come on in, say hello. If you have any questions for Sabrina, go ahead and post them in the comments. But getting back to Sabrina, you as a businesswoman, and as someone who's grown her own business within this larger organization. Would you share some of the, like, what would you say is your biggest success in doing this work? I'm sure
Well,
there's been so many,
I
but what
well,
has really lifted you up?
it's hard because there are a couple different sides of my business. So I have the products that I sell, right? And meeting new women every day, helping them and making connections is so great. But I also have a wonderful team of women that I lead. And so helping them reach their goals, whether it's to pay an extra bill a month, they got to pay their electric, they got to pay their, their fuel bill, or it's helping them quit the jobs that they hate and be able to take their own business full time is really, really, to me, I find that success is helping other people achieve what they want to get out of life, because that's what this company has done for me. At the same time, I have had some, achievements. I'm on the board of directors with Pure Romance, and so that's one of the top 0.001% of the company, meaning you have a well-rounded business, and that you're helping lead others to success. And that is something that not a lot of people say. I'm a corporate trainer, so I go around the world. I've been to Australia to train consultants, and that's not something that you sign up for. It's something that you get asked to do, once in your career. And to be able to be even considered to be one of those 4 women in a year, it's just mind blowing, the opportunities that I've had. I mean, free travel and I get paid to do it. Sign me up. And so that really fulfills. I mean, traveling is one of my love languages, right? Like being able to see the world fills my cup. And so experiencing that culture and being welcomed with open arms to hundreds of women just to help them build their businesses, and just to be recognized by the company of saying, like, we want you to teach what you know because what you're doing is working. It's a huge compliment. And so I find that to be success, is just being asked, and compensated for sharing what I love to do and what I've learned to do, is something huge too. But I mean, we have a lot of, I mean, last month in February was a record breaking month for us. And so just with the sales and with the girls who are doing all these, no, we're not doing in-home parties, we're doing virtual on Zoom parties. And these women are getting commission checks that are paying for Disney trips for their kids. And it's mind blowing. And so I feel like every day I try to find some sort of success. That's why it's really hard for me to just pick a couple
Yeah.
of those big ones. But I've earned the free trips, I've earned the jewelry, I've earned the Louis Vuitton. Every direct sales company has those things, and for a long time, gifts was my love language. But now it's teaching and it's helping others really fills up my cup, and that's what I find to be successful, is helping one more person every day get closer to their goal, reach their goal, and just knowing that I had one positive impact in that, it just really, to me, is what pushes me forward every day to keep doing what I'm doing.
And when you talk about your team, you're not just talking about a small group of people. I mean, how many do you have now?
We have about 125 women that I'm leading. They're from New York to California to Washington to Florida to everywhere in between. And so most of them I've never met, but with the power of Facebook and Zoom, we're a family. And so this past year, it's funny, on my memories on Facebook, I share our successes. And so 1 year ago, yesterday, we had hit $100,000 in sales for the year team. And 2 days ago, we had hit $200,000 in sales for the team. So we are over 100% growth between this time last year, year to date.
Wow.
And this was when a year ago we were still doing in-home parties. We were still connecting with people and doing all of that. So now to be able to take our businesses and make it 100% virtual and have 100% growth year over year, that's insane. And the power of just social media. And right now, with the way that the world is, everyone is craving connection, whether it's through Zoom, through with wearing masks, something. And so providing that kind of service has been really great to be able to perfect that. I'd never done a Zoom party before the pandemic hit. I had never had a successful Facebook party before the
Wow.
pandemic hit. And so it took me, an old dog, to learn new tricks, especially from the newer consultants on the team who have had experience with that, and say, "Hey, I need your help because I don't know how to do this successfully." And luckily, the company spends a lot of time and money into trainings, but it's different than having someone sit down with you for an hour and teach you. And so that's one thing that's really nice too, is having that sisterhood of, we're in this together. It doesn't, there's no such thing as competition or territories or whatever. It's your brand is you, and people shop with you because they want to shop with you. They stay with you because they want to stay with you. And so what are you going to do to set yourself up? What are you going to do to set yourself apart from everyone else? Because you can go, anywhere else. You can go online to the website and buy, but why are they going directly to you? What makes you different?
Yeah. Ah, I just love that. Both the impact that you've been able to have on so many women, both through developing your team and your sales. And then also, I think you bring up such a good point in the importance of, especially last year, having to be nimble and adaptable. And
Mhm.
as things have changed, really taking in, okay, we just can't move forward the way we had in the past. So how do we shift? And how do we do things differently? And you've just done that remarkably well. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you. It's been a whirlwind, a lot of late nights and early mornings, but it's been so worth it. To now I feel like I'm working even less and I'm making even more
Oh,
with the amount, because
oh,
of the structure that I have, working with you the past few months. But that's such a freeing feeling to know that all of your hard work is actually paying off, right? When you're self-employed and you clock in 16-hour days, you're not compensated for 16 hours, from an employer. You have to do it yourself. And so it's been really eye-opening this past year of how much is my time worth and how can I be more effective with my time to yield greater results in a shorter amount of time.
absolutely. Sorry, so you mentioned our work together, and
Mhm.
we just started working together toward the end of last year. So I'm curious, would you share what prompted you to hire a business coach in the first place, and then what was it about my work that appealed to you?
So I'm going to be totally honest. I needed a
Oh,
tax write-off. I needed a tax write-off.
that's right. I
I
forgot about that.
I needed something that was gonna make up for what, instead of me traveling and doing all these, like, deductibles that I typically do, I wasn't doing that. And so I said, "What's one good use of this money that I can invest in myself, grow my business, but also write it off?" Last year.
Mhm.
So Connie was my tax write-off plan originally, but that really is genuinely, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The reason why I reached out to you is because I wanted to invest in me, but also I trust you. And so when your business name is Scattered to Streamlined, I was like, she's talking to me, right? Like, she can help me because that's the name of her business. That's what she does to help people. And so I just felt like after 9 years in business, I was stuck at a place that, without help and without fresh eyes and without a fresh perspective, I wasn't going to get to the next level of my business without having someone there to guide me. And I didn't want someone in pure romance to do that, just solely because that's the way that our brains have always thought, is the pure romance way. And I needed someone with fresh eyes who I can explain things the way that I want to explain them, and they have no prior training or no prior knowledge. And it really gave a fresh perspective of how I'm running my business currently and how I can make things more effective and how I can grow things more effectively, and not even feel like I'm doing much more work. And I also needed an accountability partner.
Mhm.
It's really hard to find someone, unless if it hurts you to pay them, but that's what I knew paying you was going to make me do it, versus just getting a friend who might let me slip once in a while. I needed to physically pay someone to hold me accountable. And even, I mean, since December, the end of December, my business, what I wanted to achieve and my goal that we had set on December 28th, came to life 2 weeks later. Like, I wasn't planning on it being, I threw it out there to the universe. I wrote it down. I should grab my notebook. I wrote it down and I said, I want this in Q3. I want it in Q3, some point before the school year, starts again in September. I want a new office space. I want to have my second bedroom for my bonus kids. So when they're here, they have a bunk bed and they have their own space. And, there's not enough room in my apartment for that. So when 2 weeks later, I just threw it out to the universe that I was looking for this, it all fell in my lap. And if I didn't tell Connie that I wanted this, right? Like if I didn't say out to the universe that I wanted this, I wouldn't be in this position right now. I wouldn't be in a new office location that is now going to be expanding again in a couple of weeks. And it's my dream office. It's with women who are also business owners who are empowering women. And it's a community within this space in Allentown that I didn't even know existed or was going to be existing. But I used my network and I used my resources. And so many people reach out to me saying, you need it. This is right up your alley, Sabrina. You need to do this. You need to do this. And so I took that as a sign of, let me just look into it. And without just putting it out, out there and saying that I wanted it, I would have been too afraid. And no one would have mentioned it to me. They wouldn't have said, Sabrina, you need to get in on this, because no one knew that I was even looking. And I didn't even know that I was even looking. I just kind of threw it out to see if something was going to be available in 6 months from now. But then so it's crazy because I'm so much further ahead on my timeline this year. I cut about 7 months off of my timeline, where now, you and I working together, my business plan has adjusted, but now I feel like I'm ahead of the game tenfold. And I've already made my financial investment back working with you, because my business has exploded in the past 6 weeks, where I feel I'm not run down. I'm not, I feel great. And that's something that if I was selling this much and I was, sponsoring this many people and helping, bring so many people in, and my team is doing all these great things, I typically would feel exhausted
Yeah.
physically 24/7. And so now I have self-care in my plan, in my daily plan. I have these things for accountability where I know I need to get them done, but they're on my timeline. Like, you just help guide me and you hold me accountable to what I say I'm going to do. And that's invaluable, to have someone who genuinely cares about your business, right? Like, you aren't just someone who's going to take the money and say, okay, call me in 2 weeks or whatever. Like, you check in the middle of those calls, one weekend, hey, how did that go? How did that work out? And that's something that, if I didn't have you, I wouldn't have it at all within my own life, of someone who genuinely doesn't benefit. You don't financially benefit from me if I grow my business or not. You don't, to you, when we first got started, you didn't know what you were getting yourself into, but you took me on. And that that workshop that we had done at the end of the year gave me more clarity on how I want my 2021 to be, versus the past 10 years of me just saying that I want to do things just to say it, just to write it down. And now I have an actual plan and I have a vision, and I have manifested, but I have brought in exactly what I envisioned. Because you asked, where do you see yourself on December 31st, 2021? And I pictured myself in an office space with a booming team, with an awesome virtual business. And like, it's only March 9th, and here we are.
Well, and I bet you didn't even have in your head a vision like what turned out. I mean, I can't even imagine being able to envision this gorgeous building that you're in, and
Oh,
not just your office, but working with all of these other women together to empower women. I
yeah.
mean, the power of all of you in one place is just exponential in your help to women out there.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a part of the plan. So kudos to you. Oh my gosh. And also you talk about all right, so the planning session. We started out, you attended my full day planning intensive for 2021. And again, I just can't say enough kudos to you and to others who are watching, the effectiveness and the importance of giving yourself time to work on your business. it's so critical, whether you work with a business coach or not. But if you give yourself that day to really focus on that vision for your work and then developing a specific plan for how you're going to get there, it just, I mean, you're living proof of the effectiveness of that, of getting it all out and thinking about it. And it's so easy to get wrapped up in all of the um, in the business, all the task work and not on it like you did. So I'm really happy that you took that first step and then just have killed it ever since.
Well, and it's funny. So you say, even with or without a business coach, I was spending time on my business. I usually plan in October all my events and all my schedule for the next year. I wasn't being effective with that time. I got more done in that 7 hours with you than I would have gotten done, or I have gotten done spending weeks trying to create an action plan or a business plan. And so you have given me the tools that next year and the following year and the following year, I can just repeat over and over again. And that's something that if I was newer in business, I wish I would have had, right? Because I've gone 9 years without it. And I can only imagine where my business even would be if I did this 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But never, it's never too late. But for me, I'm one to jump at an opportunity and, kind of feel things out. And for me, the tools that a business coach like you provide is something that no matter how many audiobooks you listen to, no matter how many YouTube videos you listen to, no matter how many podcasts you listen to, you will not get the same effectiveness out of your time versus 7 hours with a business coach. And it was a group setting and it was awesome for networking too. It was an awesome it was an awesome group that I looked forward to, staying connected with and working with and checking in with in the future. So not only was there value from the networking and just the opportunity to be around like-minded people, because that's what I do, is surround myself with like-minded people, but at the same time just really focus in on my business and have an effective use of that time. Because you can spend weeks preparing a business plan, but if it's not effective and if it's not good, you just wasted weeks. And so that's a really big difference that I know you didn't know this answer, but you really did give me a lot of tools that I've been missing that I can now take forward into my business, for years to come and just grow. And it doesn't matter if you're a year in business or 10 years in business or whatever. These tools are tools that we all need in our toolbox, that we all can use, whether you're in direct sales or you're a realtor or you're a banker, it does not matter. As long as you are taking these tools and tweaking it for you, you're going to find success. But you have to take that time to sit down. And like I said, the accountability, because I could have made that action plan on December 28th and did nothing with it. You could do that too. And so as a self-employed business owner, it's sometimes really hard to stay motivated and to stay self-motivated and, you know, complete those things on your to-do list and fulfill, what you say you're going to do, because you only have to answer to you. Right. And so having that business coach is not just to help give you those tools, but to check in with you and hold you accountable for fulfilling what you say you're going to do.
Thank you for sharing that, Sabrina. And I just want to touch on one other point that you mentioned, the power of the group. So in looking at the comments, actually, Alicia is here, Alicia Aquino,
Yay!
who was in the same group. You two didn't know each other. And Alicia has a comment here. Having an accountability partner is so important. Great to hear your success, Sabrina. So here she is, Alicia is she has an amazing business helping attorneys with trial tech in San Diego. Here you are here in Buffalo doing just killer job in your direct sales business. And you guys really helped each other. And same thing, we had a property manager, we had people in all different fields. But what I loved about that experience was everyone helping each other and giving each other ideas. And I see you guys have kept in contact. I just love it. And, we'll be back together. So I'm doing these quarterly
I
half-day
know.
intensives in March. And I'm so excited to see everybody again and see what's happened with everyone and set that plan for the next quarter.
It really is. It's not just set your plan for January 1st and just run throughout the year, you have to have those quarterly check-ins. You have to say, am I where I want to be? If not, what do I need to tweak in Q2? Because if you wait until November to check in with your goals, you're already behind.
Yeah.
Right. And so many people fall into that trap of lacking that self-awareness of where they actually are versus where they think they are. And so that's where those quarterly, and I can't wait for the 23rd, like those quarterly check-ins are so valuable, not just for the camaraderie and and seeing people again, and that's always great to make those connections, but for the accountability portion of, okay, I just saw you 3 months ago. What have we all done since then? And I don't want to be the lonely person that says, I did nothing, right? I don't want to be the person who says, I forgot that we even did this, because you're not using your time or your money wisely that way. And so I wanted to make sure that before I jump on the call in 2 weeks, that I have something to bring, that I have something to share, that is what I said I was going to do. I came through with my word. And so that's just another huge part of the accountability, is that group accountability. And I love individual sessions because I can be a little selfish and, take your time and ask those questions, but there are ideas that you also wouldn't know to give, or resources that you may not be aware of, that someone like Alicia, who did have those resources, was more than willing to share with everyone in the group, that brought so much more value to that group session
Absolutely.
than just having, the coach. It's everyone else around you too, just all wanting to succeed, all wanting to help each other out. And we didn't know each other at all, before that call. And here we are 3 months later. It's been such an eye-opening experience to invest in yourself. And that little bit of time and money that you invest in yourself is going to pay itself back tenfold, not just in personal development and business development, but your growth, just your overall growth is just wildly beneficial. And so I can't rave about it enough, is like, if you haven't signed up for the quarterly, check-in, half day, that whole thing, jump in on the opportunity, because this is not just about your business, but you can help others with their business. And to me, I love to do that. And so if I have resources that I can share, I try to do that as well. And it's just being part of a like-minded community, and being part of, to me, I try to surround myself with like-minded people, and people who are where I want to be, right? So I try to surround myself with people who have been through it or have done it, and they can share, their stories and share their techniques. And so even if you're not in the same industry, you still have that like-mindedness, and the people who are maybe, where you want to be next year, or where you want to be in 5 years from now. And they're open, and it's such an open environment. They're open and willing to share those tips and those secrets that might save you money and time in the future, right? If they have resources or connections that they're willing to open up to you, it could save you a lot of time and stress and money, and all of that too. So I can't rave enough about the planning sessions. And I think that it really helped kick off my 2021 in such a positive trajectory, to just skyrocket, because I was ready. I was prepared. I planned for that. And so when you actually plan for it, it's like, it's huge. It's really, really something that I think every business owner needs to experience in some capacity. It doesn't need to be a 6-month coaching like me. It could be a 1-day workshop, and then you start leading into more. And I just knew I wanted to kind of dive deep, right off the deep end, and just go in, because I knew that there was going to be value brought to me. And I can't explain enough the amount of growth that I've had, and the amount of, self-awareness that it's brought me, and just the new people it's brought into my life too, has been really awesome. So it's just an awesome community that you've built, Connie.
Thank you. Thank you. And before we wrap things up, I just want to mention one other thing related to coaching, um, that I think has really helped you, is that you have been so proactive in this relationship. You have taken advantage of every opportunity that's there. And a lot of people don't do that, right? So you signed on as a private client, and you could attend the quarterly planning as part of that package. You jumped right on that. You're like, yeah, I'm going to take every opportunity that's there. You send me accountability journals without my having to ask. You take advantage, you contact me about some of those other services that I provide. You have just you've dived in wholeheartedly into this whole process. And I think for anyone who's considering working with a coach, make sure that you do that. Take advantage of every opportunity that's there to get the most out of that relationship. That we all, I know for me, I want to be your partner in this. And that's not just a call every couple of weeks. And it's so fulfilling for me that, when you reach out and tell me these things that are happening, it just fills my heart. So thank you.
Yeah, and sometimes it's kind of like free therapy. Connie has to talk me off the ledge a little bit with some things. But I also think that your expertise and your background from your career standpoint really helps benefit me, who has no experience in those types of things too. So I think you bring a lot more to the table than just accountability and coaching. I think that your background and just your life experience, it really makes you a little bit different than other business coaches as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be paying you right as soon as we're off the phone. All right, so let's shift away from that. Tell me, all right, so we're toward the end of first quarter 2021. What are you really excited about for the rest of the year? What really has got you going about your business for the rest of the year?
I have big plans. One thing that also I wrote down that was something that I didn't expect to come true is I'm doing a whole rebrand in a couple months. And so not a rebrand on Pure Romance, but on me and who I am and what I offer to women with or without Pure Romance. And so it's going to be a shift in content. It's going to be a shift in mindset, but it's the next challenge to kind of level up. And so I'm taking my business to the next level. And May 17th is my 10 years. And I figured, why not use a 10-year anniversary as an opportunity? And I've been saying for a couple of years that I want to do that. I want to, streamline things. I want to make things more cohesive in my brand because, when you own a franchise or you own, a brick and mortar, you have that brand. And when you're online, you can be so scattered that people don't know or recognize you. And so I want to be recognizable no matter what I'm posting. People will say, "Oh, Sabrina posted that. Oh, Sabrina's there." And so have it be more well known. And so I think a rebrand and sharing my story is something that is going to be really big because I have 10 years of stories
Right.
to share. So not only am I moving into an incredible office space that has, I mean, it's going to be so amazing. I also work with a lot of women who are doing boudoir or getting married. Like I said, who are growing their families, who are graduating college. I mean, so just those opportunities are just going to be growing exponentially. And I'm just so excited to kind of like navigate through that of how all of this will coincide together. So there's not really, I mean, I've already accomplished the one big thing in 2021 that I wanted to achieve. And so now it's just kind of like, let's elevate even more. Let's take like no glass ceilings, and that's the kind of feeling that I want everyone to feel with their own business, no matter what industry they're in, is that there's no glass ceilings and that if you want it, you can do it. You can do anything you set your mind to. You're not stuck anywhere. There are always resources and people and places to be that will really help you get there. And so I think sharing my story and sharing kind of my outlook on my business and what the last 10 years have meant to me is going to be really, really cool for some people who they might learn a thing or two about me that maybe they didn't know before. So kind of being more vulnerable is something that's scary, but needed, especially in a relationship business. I'm in a relationship business building relationships with people. And so I'm really excited to grow this even more and to make women all across the country, even in Canada. I'm doing a Canadian party in 2 weeks. Just growing it even more and just helping even more women as well, just with their confidence and in education and all of that too. So there's a lot of fun things. I mean, you just have to follow my social media. Follow me on Facebook, and then you'll see all the things I like to post my journey. So that way someone might be inspired by it, or, it might trick something in their head to, say, hey, if she can do it, I can do it too. That's what I want.
Well, and so will you share with us what's the best way to reach you for anyone who wants to follow you there and feel more of this energy, or maybe get involved in Pure Romance, or, just wants your advice on being a phenomenal business person? What's the
Um,
best way for people to reach you?
For me, it's Facebook. So I have my public Sabrina Rodriguez Facebook page. I also have a private women only group where we share a lot of personal and inappropriate things in there, but it's super fun
It
and
is.
really empowering. And then I also have Instagram where I share on some stories, behind the scenes of lingerie fittings and behind the scenes of a day at my desk type of thing. So if you kind of want to see what is involved in working for yourself and that kind of stuff, I like to share that there. And I also do have a party line, a business party line. I call it the party line because it's more fun than saying a business line. But that is 716 268 and so anyone can text my business number and it goes right to my cell phone. If they have any questions about anything, I'm an open book.
Love it. I'll post all of those in the description of the video
Awesome.
once that's up there so that people have access to that. And I love what you said. There's no glass ceiling. That's going to be the quote I'm going to associate with Sabrina Rodriguez from now on.
Thank you. I love it. I love it.
Oh, well, and you've given me more time than I had asked for. I really appreciate you staying on here and sharing your experience, both as a business person in pure romance and in coaching together. It's just such an honor to work with you, and I so appreciate your time here today. So thank you. Thanks to those who were here and stayed with us here. Alicia just had time to plan a party in San Diego. Yes.
Yes.
I love it. And I hope you'll come back. So periodically I'm going to be doing these interviews with other really successful business people who are just having an amazing 2021. And next week we'll have Miriam Laundry, who is a very successful children's author, and she's also a publishing coach. So very much looking forward to that conversation too. So thanks all for joining us, and have a great rest of your week.
Yay.
All right. All
We
right.
did it.
It all worked. Oh, Sabrina, you're amazing.
That was smooth. That
Oh
was
my God.
great.
Oh, I'm glad. And thank you. Oh my gosh, you were just your support for me and my work. I just am so grateful to you.
Well, I was trying not to sound like an infomercial, but at the same time, I hope everyone who listened got the hint that they should join part of the group. I mean, I have done coaching and accountability and stuff before, but like this really has been so different. And I don't know if it's my mindset that I'm just ready for it or what, but I just think it's fabulous. I appreciate you thinking of me to come on and kind of share everything and kind of like plug my stuff too. So
Oh my God, I just can't think of a better person to share. So, all right, well, I'll let you get back to your day. I know you're a busy woman.
I know I'm gonna go to the office now, so I gotta get some packages shipped out.
Yay. All
Yeah,
right.
but thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Well,
I'll
and
see
I
you
think
next week for
that's
our
right. All right, sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye.